Hey everybody, welcome back to another video from yours truly, Spike Kane. This week I'm going to be talking about X-Men Second Coming, the event that spawned across all the different X books quite a while ago actually, when you think about it. I first read this when I signed up for a Marvel Unlimited subscription, and I read it on my laptop, which is just a weird way to read comic books if you think about it. Since then, I bought a bunch of books from my friend in America, which is what kind of got me into collecting singles and such at the same time. I got a bunch of Endangered Species, Messiah Complex, and all the way up to the X-Men Second Coming. Now, for those people that know me, they know that I've named my daughter Hope, and for anyone that doesn't know, it's because of this storyline that I chose that name, because of the character Hope from the X-Men series. This kind of event spawns from the fallout of House of M, where you know, the big spoiler, which is not really a spoiler. If it's a spoiler for you, then I deeply apologise, but it shouldn't really be. At the end of House of M, Scarlet Witch has no more mutants, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of mutants are no longer mutants. She doesn't kill them, she just wipes out the X gene. So there's something like 200 mutants left in the world. At the start of the X-Men Second Coming series, there's about 170 or maybe 180, and Cyclops is getting a bit over the top. Like, every death means we're closer to becoming extinct, which is true when you think about it. So the X-Men are living on Utopia all together, or whatever's left of the mutants, basically. But out there, jumping through time, trying to escape from Bishop, is Cable and Hope. Now, Hope's called Hope Summers, but she's not actually the daughter of either of the Summers family. They kind of adopt her, and Cyclops gives Cable a mission to hide Hope and jump her through time, because he believes that she's the mutant messiah, because she's the first person to be born with an X gene since the whole No More Mutants malarkey. Now, if you think about it, this story flies straight into Avengers vs. X-Men, which means all the X-Men events that have happened, House of M, Schism, Second Coming, they all build up to Avengers vs. X-Men to leave us where we've got the X-Men currently, you know, with Cyclops and his kind of band of psychopaths, and Wolverine and his little school, which is quite odd because at the start of this, it's Wolverine that has the band of psychopaths in X-Force. X-Force is probably one of my favourite books to read, especially when Deadpool joined. So we start off with that, and we start off with Cable coming back to this time, and it just spirals out, because you've got, I think, 4 different anti-mutant groups along with Bastion trying to wipe them out, trying to kill Hope. And the logic is that Bastion has seen what Hope becomes, and she destroys the world. When you're reading this, it's kind of like, yeah, right, whatever. When you've read the other events, you kind of see, well, he kind of does have a point, because she brings the Phoenix back to Earth in X-Men versus Avengers versus X-Men. So it's understandable, but not acceptable. So we jump across the different X books, from the X-Men book to Uncanny X-Men to X-Men Legacy to New Mutants. It's kind of all over the place, but it involves all of the different X-Men teams. And this story, I'm not going to spoil anything, I'm not going to explain what happens, but this story had such an impact on me that I was almost in tears when I read it, because a certain character dies. From the beginning, you have this kind of tension growing where Nightcrawler figures out what's been going on with X-Force after they kill some people in front of Nightcrawler, and it starts to become a big deal. He starts questioning what's going on, he starts questioning Scott, and Scott kind of snaps back like, don't question my leadership out in the field. If you want to talk to me, do it when we get home. Hope's more important. And they keep drilling this over and over, that Hope is more important. And it's almost like, you know, they're saying Hope, as in the feeling of Hope rather than the person of Hope, because that's what she brings to Scott. Regardless, Bastion shows up. He starts screwing everyone. Everyone's getting beaten up. They seem to have a plan for every single one of the teams, how to neuter them, how to take them out, how to stop them. And you see it happening across the different books, across the different teams. And eventually, they take Hope. The Wolverine and his team go, we're going to distract them with Cable. You take Hope to Cyclops back at Utopia. So that happens, and they're rushing, and this person gives their life for Hope, and the dying words are, "I believe in you," and there's tears coming down, and there's tears coming down. What got me the most was afterwards when they have like a mini funeral. They're all talking about how this person meant so much to them, what this person did for them, and individually what that person meant to them. And instead of Wolverine really saying anything, he just kind of closes up on his fist, and his fist is balled so tight that there's blood coming out, like his claws are slow to come out, and there's blood pouring out of his hands. And eventually he snaps, like he's like, it's all Cyclops' fault. Beast shows up and it's all Cyclops' fault. You have to own this, Scott Summers. And the story had such an impact on me that's what made me decide to collect comic books. It was reading this story that made me think, I need more of this. I need more of the X-Men universe. I need to know more about some of these characters that I don't necessarily know much about, such as Cannonball. I know of the character. I've never read anything about him. I felt like there was some characters missing. Like, I have no idea what's going on at the time. Like, what happened to Gambit? Where's Gambit? I have no idea. I wouldn't have a clue. I couldn't answer that question because I haven't read much before this happened. But I'd like to read. I'd like to get into that and read some more. I mean, I've got a bunch of X-Men Legacy to read now, which I'm quite happy about. So I'm going to get into that and see where that leads me to. But this story, X-Men Second Coming, had such an impact on me that it's what made me decide to read comic books, and it made me choose that name for my daughter, to name her Hope. And I think that says a lot. I think that says more than I ever could say in a video, is how much of an impact this book had on my life, I guess. Because since then, I've become an avid comic book collector. I collect a lot of X-Men and X-related books, such as, Wolverine and Deadpool, X-Force. And I enjoy them the most. I think personally, right now, X-Men has kind of lost its way. But we'll see what happens when all this kind of Marvel now crap piles over and we get what's left. So my personal opinion is you should definitely check this out if you haven't read it. If you have read it, then maybe you could follow the storyline and see where it goes from and where it goes to. Because right now we had No More Humans recently, which it's outside the current timeline, but it was still worth a watch. What read even, not a watch. So, my personal opinion is this is one of the best events I've ever read. It's not an event that spiraled across the Marvel Universe, but it did actually have quite an impact on it because it's stuff that came after this, which is what events are supposed to do. They're supposed to give you stuff that happens after the actual event. You're supposed to have an impact and filter out into the universe. So I thought that was quite well. Other than that, the only downside to it was there was quite a lot of characters in it that I didn't really know because I haven't branched outside of the main X-Men team. So we'll see. I think you guys should definitely check it out. You can follow me on Twitter. You could send me an email at spike@comicnom.com. I'd always reply to emails and to Twitter mentions and such as well. So hopefully, maybe give this video a like and a subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another video. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll see. Thank you for checking it out. Bye.